What's up, guys? Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Wednesday, January the 18th, I believe. Yep, 18th. Been on the water a little bit, swapping out boats. Got my 2023 yesterday, and was out with the 2022 for the last time. I guess it was on Monday, and doing some cleanup work on that. The 2022 is available as well. If you guys are interested in looking at a 2022 Camus, it is clean as a whistle because it's been wrapped since it was brand new. And it's going to be completely detailed out and ready to roll before I sell it. But as far as fishing goes, fishing has been good. I fished a little bit yesterday, fished a little bit on Monday, and fished last week. Didn't really fish much over the weekend with the boat show and everything else going on. But lake level, we are at 914.88 this morning. Puts us about 1/10 of a foot down. We got some rain today, hence the reason I'm in the office and not breaking in the motor. Looks like the lake will probably be back up at normal pool unless the Corps really turns on some generation here over the next day or so. Water temperature, we're back up. Yesterday I kept seeing 50 to anywhere from 50 to about 51.2. So the water temperature has definitely warmed back up a little bit. Has not really affected the bite or made it good, bad, or indifferent. The bite's been good, continues to be good despite what some people have to say on the internet, on their YouTube channels. Table Rock is not screwed. We are catching fish. Just look at the tournament results, guys. The last two derbies we've had down there, it's taken over 20 pounds to win each one of them. And we've had a fish over 7 pounds and a fish over 8 pounds for big bass. So, gotta be honest with you, I don't think it's screwed. Best way to know what's going on, best way to stay on top of it, join Table Rock Fishing Intel and get all those reports, daily reports, weekly reports, all the other information we put out there on a daily basis. We had 5 daily reports over 2 days this week, so we get a lot of people out there fishing, getting you a lot of information, making it easier for you to not only catch bass, but we've got guys posting crappie reports now too, because the crappie fishing has been really good. If you're coming down, you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, the deep bite is still the dominant bite on the lower end. It's kind of the dominant bite all over the lake if you're looking for numbers of fish. You can catch them deep on a, on a scope spin, on the scuba spoon, on a jigging wrap, on a Demiki rig, just about anywhere on the lake. The key is finding the shad. They do seem to be a little bit deeper than we normally find them this time of year. Most of the fish I'm catching have been in that 50 to 70 foot range, fairly close to the bottom or fairly close to trees if there's trees and you're in a creek. Other bite that's working on the lower end, they are catching a few on an A rig, mostly on flat gravel, close to deep water, or gravel and rock mix close to deep water, especially if you get wind. You get a windy day, and on Monday it was blowing, and you could certainly catch them on an A-rig on those windy points, both main lake and secondary points. You're not going to catch the numbers of fish, but there are some better quality on an A-rig up there and on a jerk bait with either the Mega Bass Vision 110. I'm doing better with the +1 than I am any other size, or the Spromic stick. And again, I've been throwing that new Spromic stick +1, and it gets down a little bit deeper. Seem to be getting more bites on those. Go in the mid-lake area. It's where I broke in my boat yesterday. And to be honest with you, I fished for about, I don't know, I was on the water, got down there about noon and got off by 3:30 and got 2 hours of running time. So that tells you I probably had about 30 to 40 minutes to fish total. And in that 30 to 40 minutes, I caught 6 fish. All 6 were keepers. Concentrated on doing nothing but deep. Just had to take a break from running. Pulled into some areas where I figured I'd find some fish. And sure enough, caught them on a Demiki rig. Caught them on the scope spin a little bit. And I know guys are catching them on a scuba spoon and on a jigging wrap as well. But most of those fish have been deep. I mean, they're deeper than we normally think they are. Most of them are off of those gravel roll-offs. It's really where you can find bait. If you can find bait, you're going to find fish around them, and yesterday they were feeding very actively. I know the A-rig bite's been pretty strong in the mid-lake as well. Same sort of deal. If you've got wind, hit those gravel and rock mix points. If you don't have wind, look for cover, whether it be trees or boat docks or something like that. And same with the jerkbait bite. It's definitely been strong around cover, around tree, standing timber, around brush piles, and anywhere you have a transition area. Again, the Mega Bass Vision 110 +1 or the Spromic stick +1 have both been the better baits doing that. Go up into the James, and was up in the James late last week. And the bite was a little different up the James. I actually caught him doing some different stuff. Caught a few on an A-rig, but really didn't throw it that much. Caught him, had a little bit of wind, caught him around those transition areas where it goes from big rock to small rock, kind of on those channel swing banks. Most of those fish were over about 10 to 15 foot of water. Had a few on a mixed stick +1 as well, around some brush piles. Not necessarily really deep brush piles. These brush piles are probably about 15 foot of water. And using the forward-facing sonar and throwing it over top of the brush pile and watching the fish come up and eat it. But the cool thing is we did catch a few on a rock crawler up there. So there is still a rock crawler bite going on up the James, and I would imagine it's probably going on up the Kings and up Long Creek as well, anywhere where you've got some dirty water. It seems like that bite's a little bit better in the afternoon. If you've got a little bit of sun and some wind that's warming that water up, those fish will be up there shallow in that 7 to 10 foot range, and you can reach them on a rock crawler on like a channel swing type bank in a creek or any 45-degree chunk rock bank. You should be able to catch them doing that. White River was up the White River last week as well. Deep bite's really good up the White River. Scope spin, scuba spoon, jigging wrap, Damiki rig, all those are working. Again, they're a little bit deeper than we normally see them this time of year. 55 to 75 was kind of where I caught them last week up there. Most of those fish were off of the edges of gravel, but the key was having shad. We did catch a few in the creeks if we had some shad in the creeks, but most of them, where you'd have a big school of shad where it rolls off into like 80, 90 feet, if you move up on those gravel banks to about 70 to 55, you can see those fish on the bottom and target them doing that. Didn't really throw an A-rig, but I know some guys have been throwing the A-rig up there as well, catching them. If it's windy, they're catching them on points, on the edges of points, gravel and rock mixed points mostly. If it's not windy, they're really targeting cover, whether it be standing timber or brush piles. And the same deal with the jerkbait, Megabass Vision 110 +1 or the mixed stick +1 around cover, around trees, around brush piles, around boat docks. If you've got forward-facing sonar, whether it's active target, live scope, whatever you may have, you'll see a lot of fish underneath and around those boat docks. Some of them are feeding on shad, some of them are feeding on crappie because there's a lot of smaller crappie under there as well. But we've been catching them on a jerkbait around there. So keep that in mind if you're going to go up the White River. Guys, we are halfway through January and it really doesn't feel like it. We've had a pretty mild winter so far. And I'll take it. I'll take it. The bite's been good. The bite's staying good. We're catching a lot of fish every time we go out. Best way to know what we're doing, best way to know what not just I'm doing, but what the other guys are doing. Join Table Rock Fishing Intel and get those daily reports and weekly reports and all that information so you know before you go how you can catch them on Table Rock. But if you want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com, and either shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Great time to come down and learn how to fish deep if you've always wanted to do that. We're getting close to where it's going to be really good with an A-rig and a jerkbait. If you want to learn how to do that, good times to come down and do that as well. But guys, thanks for checking out the video. Check out Table Rock and Fishing Intel if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.